So the road workers are going to be there for quite some time, so I'll charge the battery up. I've actually got 2 batteries. I'll put the new battery in, but I'm just experimenting with recording while I'm charging up the battery to see if that's going to work or not as I head back towards Newcastle Airport. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to charge the battery up in between trains, because sometimes there's like half hour or more between trains. I want to wait here for a couple more trains, then we'll head out via the roadworks site, and then we'll head to Newcastle Airport. Well, that was an unexpected requirement to move from where I was. I knew that they were doing road work in the area as we saw on our approach. And just as the train was arriving, a guy from the local council came up and said to me and the person in front of me, who turned out to be a traffic controller, that we needed to move our cars because the sign that we were standing or parked near needed to be fixed. And I'm thinking, oh, this is a sign that's probably been here since 1960, but all of a sudden it needs to be fixed. Right as there is a train coming in, it was a freight train. I was able to capture the locomotives, thankfully. I've captured that particular train on several occasions, so I knew what was behind it. But it was an interesting thing that that it was just that moment there that the car needed to be moved, and I tried to delay it as long as I could. Got a shot of the locomotives at least, so that's one thing. So we're heading to Waterworks Park, which I was trying to get to before, but I'm coming in from the opposite direction. So hopefully I might be able to get to the bridge that I want before the XPT arrives in about 20 minutes or so. Now this is a rural area of Maitland. Surrounding areas of Maitland, it's very, very rural out here. There's a couple of horses in the paddock to my right. unofficially now we're coming into suburb of, or the area of Oakhampton Heights. I think I turned left. Oh, that's the old pump house down. One of the reasons that I'm coming here, apart from the fact that there's a bridge across the railway line here. This is the Walka Water Works, which was a way of like a pumping station to produce water. Now I don't know exactly where I'm going. There's areas here that have been cordoned off because they've found asbestos in the ground. So it's undergoing a restoration. But while they were doing that restoration, they found asbestos. So there's huge areas that have been blocked off, as we can see by the temporary fencing from side to side. Now on the right is the Waterworks building. So there's talks in the process of upgrading that building and reopening it. I want to see how far I can get, or do I need to go back to the level crossing, and hopefully those workers would have moved by then. So there is a lake nearby. You can go for a walk, or under normal circumstances you can go for a walk along the lake, but there's just so much of this area that's blocked off. It is a bit, oh gee, that was a big bump. So it's a big lake. So that's where they would have got the water from, and then they pump it through the pump station and out. So I don't know how far I can drive up here, but we're finding out together. This would be a really good picnic spot in the winter, in the summer, which is coming up. There's just so much of it that's closed at the moment. That looks like it's about as far as I can drive. I don't think I'm going to have time to walk up there before the train's due. There's a few different trails around here that you can walk. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to head back to the level crossing, and we'll get to see the roadwork that the signs were warning us about. I didn't record straight away when I was leaving the area. I was trying to charge up the battery in the camera, and also there was a fair bit of urgency for me to get out of the area. And one of the other things too, I did say that it's a rather nice, now 16 degrees outside. if it wasn't for the wind, it would be nice, but there's a rather strong wind blowing at the moment, so I don't want to be outside, and I'm certainly not jogging like an old mate here. But I will have time to get back to the level crossing. Hopefully old mate's finished working and fixing the sign. Oh, there's a looks like there's a miniature railway in there, but it's all fenced off at the moment, so that whole area is fenced off, so there's a lot of different walking trails around here. But there's just so much of it that's locked off at the moment. So let's head back to the level crossing as I try to avoid all these potholes. So there are some picnic areas still open if you want to come out here and be at one with nature. But there's so much fenced off at the moment that I'm sure that there's plenty of places to go that are just as scenic, if not more scenic, and open to the public. So from either side there is a walk from the road to the railway bridge. So if I just follow this road back to the level crossing, the train's due in about 20 minutes. Oh, there's a cow eating. Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side, and that's what that cow is doing right now with his head through the fence. I think it's a he. I don't know, I'm not looking at that end of the cow to see what gender it is. I'm just a city boy from a poor family. Go away, go away. The level crossing that I'm at is a pretty good one for train spotting. I did use the spot a few years ago now at the Maitland Steam Fest. So lots of farmland, lots of animals out and around this area. The Hunter River to my right. Maybe able to see it through the trees there. The good advantage of the 360-degree camera is that I can look at that and I can focus on whatever I'm talking about in post-production. So I'm going to hang around for a couple more trains, and then I think we might head to Newcastle Airport. So we're coming up to the side of the roadwork. So we'll get to see Australian traffic control in action. I did qualify last year as a traffic controller. There's 3 qualifications that you can get. Now, the first one is for what old mate up here is doing, stopping the traffic. That's a 1-day course. And then there's another day course that I also did, which was putting out these signs and where to put them. And that's another day course. So they're the main 2 levels of traffic control that people get. So one to do what old mate's doing here with the sign out and how to stop traffic and what to do if traffic doesn't stop for you, etc. And then there's the course to put out, set up and take down all the signs. I always give them a wave. And then there's the third part of the course, or the third course that you can do, is actually how to do how to actually do the planning for where the work. So I am back at the level crossing now. I have inserted a video of the train that I was waiting for, the XPT that runs between Sydney and Casino, that passed by. And in that shot was the sign that the council workers replaced. It's basically the same format as the last sign, except it's newer and they've put new poles in. So I ended up coming back to the level crossing and parking around the corner, which is another spot that I don't mind parking in while I'm waiting for the trains, and I can see the level crossing from here, and I can see when the lights go on. It's very windy outside, so that's why I'm staying in the car in between trains. So the guys actually came up to me saying that I was back here, and they said, oh, if you want to park your car back where we parked our truck, you can if you want. They actually thought that I was here with the road workers and the traffic controller that was here as well, but no, I'm not here for that. I said I'm just here to watch trains go by. And so they've departed. The new sign is up, and it's ironic because the name of this street that I'm actually on now, Oakhampton Station Road, there hasn't been a station in Oakhampton for many years, so it doesn't actually lead to a station at all, which is quite ironic. But it must have been time for the sign to be replaced. I've seen signs up that are in way worse condition than that haven't been replaced. So it was just ironic that out of all the times to be here, I've been here when the sign needed to be replaced right there and right then, and right where I'd parked my car. So speaking of things that are ironic, a little bit earlier you saw me approaching the roadwork area, and I was just getting to the roadwork area and I discovered that the battery was just about to die, so it stopped the recording. Okie dokie, we are back. 83% battery and charging as we're going, hopefully. Let me look at the screen. Yes, charging as we're going. We're going to leave the level crossing and we're going to head to Newcastle Air Base and Fighterworld. So we're going to cross the level crossing now. No idea when the next train is. Not expecting a passenger on a train for a couple of hours yet. So it was quite ironic that I was just about to hit the roadwork scene or the roadwork site, and then the battery died. So yeah, I'm qualified for the first 2 levels of traffic control in New South Wales. One of them to be able to actually control the traffic. And so they're just radioing me as the last vehicle. So they know when I get there they can send vehicles the other way. So not only can I control the traffic, but I can also put out and take down the witches' hats and the signs, etc. The only thing I can't do is design the work plan for the site, but you also need traffic control experience to do that, and I don't have that. So a local's just going into his property there. But they've got me as the last car. Now they've actually done pretty solid work in sealing this bit of road, because a couple of hours ago this was just dirt. There's a lot of roads around here that have been hit by floodwaters and damaged roads. And we can just see the amount of cars that are stacked up now waiting for me to arrive. I'm the last vehicle. So they'll confirm that I am the last vehicle. They've confirmed that. They got communication both ends of the work site, and we are underway. So we're going to head towards Fighterworld, which is at Newcastle Airport. As I was saying earlier, Newcastle Airport is a joint civilian/military airport, and I've never actually been to Fighterworld. There's a couple of different vantage points where you can watch the planes, which is one of the things that we're going to do, and we'll go to Fighterworld as we're there, I think. But now that I know that I can charge the battery as I'm going, some nice sandstone blocks there for a bit of a fence. Well, we're going along this road a bit earlier to get to the waterworks. So it's about lunchtime now. Still very windy. It's almost 20 degrees Celsius, which is good. There's an old cemetery to the left. You can just see the trees, like this tree on the left hand side, you can just see how strong the wind is. Just see how strong the wind is here. So we're going to head back a different way, rather than just going down the New England Highway to get back towards the airport. So this is certainly a new world for me, the way that I'm recording the podcast now using audio. We turned down there to go to the waterworks earlier, because before, when I was doing audio between 2007 to 2009, I'd just use either the recorder on my phone or an actual voice recorder. There's a burnt out car. Whereas now I've got the visual aspect that I can use as well. Some of it still translates into audio only. So I don't know exactly where I am, as I've never gone down this back street this far. There's some horses. So sometimes it's just nice to come out and just go for a drive for the sake of going for a drive, and not just because you're going between point A and point B. I haven't done it for a while, but today is the day for that, I think. Oh, we're coming into Maitland itself. For the waterworks, but we've just come from there. Some more horses. I did see on YouTube, but I'll have to look it up again, how you can actually do like a map to say this is where I am, or this is from where I went to where I went. Although this is about 20 k's. Alright, that's an A-through road, so I can't really go down there. So we're in the centre of Maitland. They're going to let me in, thank you. Yeah, we'll go for it. We'll go for it, mate. This little bit of Maitland. We haven't got much choice, really. So it's a really historic inland town, as I was saying earlier on. It's the first major centre you hit once you leave Newcastle to head towards the Northern Tablelands. Yeah, we'll go straight, I think. Yeah. If we turn left, we basically end up going in the same direction as we went before. We're on a different road. if we were to turn right, we'd basically head back to the New England Highway where we were before. So Maitland's a very historical town, very much blue collar. It's a was and still is a good base for people who go and work further north and further west on the mines and in the wineries and that sort of thing. You're only about 45 minutes from Newcastle at the most. Wide streets, historic buildings. In and around Maitland, you can get most of the things that you need without having to go to Newcastle. Although there's quite a few people who live out this area and do commute to Newcastle for work or to go to the University of Newcastle. Well, we can only turn right, so we don't have a decision to make there. Old mate's coming out the wrong way of a one-way street there. We'll go down here and loop around. Okay, so this area is now known as the Levee. So the Hunter River's just over there. This is what it would have been like driving down the Hunter Street Mall in Newcastle. Similar sort of thing here. Yeah, there is some parking, but it's definitely more for pedestrians. So we have to turn left. It's the street that we turned right onto a minute ago. So we're heading down towards Maitland Railway Station now and the New England Highway. There's lots of pubs. Like a typical Australian country town, there seems to be a pub on every corner. Now over time the amount of pubs have reduced, but there's still plenty around. This one's the Coach and Horses. Mall shopping centre on the right that this car's about to turn into. Yeah, some of the roads are still pretty rough. Oh, yeah, that was rough. So now we're heading towards Maitland Station. That's the station car park for Maitland Station. Might just pull in here. I want to put in directions for. I want to put in directions to get to the airport. So there's Maitland Station, old historic railway station. One of the things that it's infamous for is being flooded from the nearby Hunter River. One of the more historic floods was in 1955, where the person working in the old signal box actually had to be evacuated by helicopter. Alright, so Google Maps, Fighterworld. We'll take that scenic route.
In 50 metres, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Church Street.
Alright, we'll take the scenic route.
Head west on Station Street. In 50 metres, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Railway Street.
I think that's Railway Street.
In 100 metres, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Church Street.
Alright, that's Church Street, yep, there we go. Maitland Station, and we're about to pass the signal box that I was just talking about on the left hand side. So that's quite high for the actual height of the platform. So in the flood of 1955, the signaller there had to be evacuated by helicopter. Alright, we're back on the New England Highway, heading in the other direction to what we were before. It's actually called Les Darcy Drive at the moment.
Faster route via New England Highway A43, which saves 6 minutes. If you prefer to stay on the current route, tap no. Thanks.
And the Canadians shut it down.
Oh, hang on, I didn't want that.
That's what, 20 grand to the cartel these days?
I didn't want YouTube to start. Oh, towards the coalfields. So heading east back towards Newcastle. But we're going to turn off soon. We're going to head towards a historic town of Morpeth on the Hunter River. So we are going to take slightly longer to get to the airport than we need to, but I'm doing this one more for the journey rather than to get there quickly. We should always also, yeah, we'll end up going past the old Maitland jail as well. In the left lane too early. And yeah, the road's bumpy. So this is basically East Maitland. Okay, we're back. This time the camera stopped. This time the camera stopped because it got hot. Who knew that a camera would get hot? Now it got hot because I've got it on my dash where the sun comes in. It was charging at the same time. But who knew that cameras get hot? It's not even a really hot day, it's 20 degrees, so it was basically a shutdown morning. But we're back again, and hopefully this time we can continue. I'll just make sure that I'm heading in the right direction. So I've stopped charging the camera at the moment. I'm on 82%. I do have another battery, so that's good. But I don't know why it's playing. I need to probably get rid of that YouTube. Alright. I was watching some YouTube videos as I was beside the tracks a little bit earlier while I was waiting for the trains. Oh, that's right, I'm not plugged in correctly. I'm not plugged into the head unit in my car. So that's why it wasn't coming up, because I wasn't actually connected, but I am connected now. So in a couple of seconds I should be right. So we're heading to Fighterworld. It's open 7 days a week. They have flight simulators that you can use during school holidays and weekends. Alright, we are hopefully now good to go. So yeah, this is still East Maitland. Actually, we'll go up to the lights and then we'll turn left.
Turn left onto High Street.
There's a car waiting to come out, so I thought I'd give him a flash and say, yep, you're right to come out, buddy. Because otherwise, at least I knew that if I flashed him and he came out, at least I know that he's going to do it, rather than they just do it and then all of a sudden, oh, there's a car there. So I'd much rather them just give them a courtesy flash of the lights to say, hey buddy, I've stopped, come out.
In 400 metres, at the roundabout, take the third exit onto Lindsay Street.
Okay, so here we are. We're about to cross the railway line. I don't think I've ever crossed the line at this bridge before. I've gone under it. I've gone under it plenty of times. Yep, there it is. Oh, that's Victoria Street Station down there. I know where I am. But I just hadn't crossed that particular bridge before. In a car. I've done it underneath it plenty of times on a train, so I know exactly what bridge it is now. Let him cross because he was definitely thinking about it. So we're heading off in the general direction of Raymond Terrace. I thought we'll go this way. It's a little bit of suburbia that you won't get to see if you just go straight down the New England Highway. So 4 kilometres to Thornton and 17 kilometres to Raymond Terrace on the sign there. So we're coming up to the East Maitland Cemetery on the right hand side. It extends for quite a way actually. And we'll drive, there's a golf course on the left. My old mate JD, who we saw
in 400 metres, at the roundabout, take the first exit and stay on Raymond Terrace Road.
My old mate JD that I saw in one of the scootering videos lives in this general area. I did want to head to Morpeth, so I'm going to turn. Oh, that's a nice looking Kenworth. I did want to head towards Morpeth, so we'll go this way.
Exit the roundabout onto Raymond Terrace Road.
So
head northeast on Medford Road. Continue for 4 kilometres.
Yeah, Google Maps will figure it out. Quickly becomes bushland again. As I was was saying earlier about Morpeth, I don't think we'll drive past Old Maitland Jail now that I've gone this way, but we should be able to drive through Morpeth, which is a historic town, and it used to be, in the olden days, it used to be a real day trip to come out on a boat from Newcastle along the Hunter River. So if you thought Maitland was historic, well, we'll have a look at Morpeth in a moment. Don't come out, buddy. That's had a few names over the years. Someone left their Ugg boots behind. Someone left their Ugg boots behind. So here's the car that I'm currently driving. It's a Volkswagen Caddy 2019 model. It's only got about 37,000 kilometres on the clock, which isn't bad. We're at the Queen's Wharf at Morpeth, but I'll talk more about that in the car because it's windy as heck out here. Oh, it's lucky that I can do everything on my mobile phone, isn't it? For the second time since leaving Maitland, my Insta360 camera has decided to shut down because it gets too hot. Now, it's supposed to be an outdoor and action camera, but twice within the last half an hour, it's shut itself down. So in this next shot, I'll show you where I actually had it mounted, and you'll see where I had it mounted. Yeah, the front windscreen acts as a little bit of a greenhouse, but it's not super hot. I don't have the heaters on or anything, and it's only 20 degrees outside, so it shouldn't be massively hot, you would have thought. So I just had the camera sitting here, that seems to be the most magnetic section of my dash. Had the camera sitting there. Yes, there's the front windscreen, but you know, it's not a super hot day. So just imagine if I was outside in a super hot day, how many times would my camera shut down? So just having a look through the front windscreen of the car, this is the Queen's Wharf at Morpeth on the Hunter River. And the Hunter River certainly is flowing. So Maitland's to our left, Newcastle's to our right, and it's certainly flowing as water comes from downstream. I don't know if this is anywhere near the record heights, etc., but it is flowing quite hard at the moment, and it seems to be up a lot compared to where the actual wharf is. The river would even have to be just a half metre higher, and you wouldn't see the wharf, which is on the right hand side. So we're just zoomed in and looking at the wharf now from the car, and yeah, there's not much wharf there really to be seen due to the height of the river. We haven't had any real rain in about a week or so, but there's just been so much water that's come into the catchment and eventually comes into the Hunter River and eventually goes out to sea. So that the water's quite murky, quite brown. I'm not sure where the normal river height is, but to me it seems to be pretty high when you compare it to the wharf there. Now there's no actual ferry service that runs here. It is also a boat ramp, so if you want to launch your boat from here you can. The slipway is just there, so you can just come into the water and then off you go. Occasionally there are cruises that run from Newcastle where you can come up here and enjoy Morpeth and then go back on the Hunter River. So you can get all the way up here on the Hunter River from Newcastle. Alright, we're back. The camera's cooled down. We're on 69% battery. So we lost over 10% since the last time I checked. Let's get ready to head back out. We'll go through the centre of Morpeth, across the bridge. Now the bridge opened in 1898, which was obviously many years ago.
Head south towards Queen's Wharf Road, then turn left onto Queen's Wharf Road.
Alright. So it's a nice little spot just to sit and watch the water go by, I guess. Alright, so we'll head back in towards the bridge.
Turn left onto Queen's Wharf Road, then turn left to stay on Queen's Wharf Road.
So that's a good look at the boat ramp and how it goes into the water. So we'll head up to...
Turn left to stay on Queen's Wharf Road, then turn left onto Swan Street.
So it's quite a historic town.
Turn left onto Swan Street.
there used to be a railway line that ran between here and East Maitland. That was closed at some point.
In 300 metres, turn left onto Phoenix Park Road.
So if you thought that Maitland was historic, check out Morpeth. Have to be careful, I do have a car on my backside, but a nice wide street, old colonial style, shops on either side, the occasional multi-story or double-story building.
Turn left onto Phoenix Park Road.
So we're coming to the bridge now.
In 400 metres, turn right onto Hinton Road.
Alright, so this is the bridge. One heavy vehicle out here at a time. You can see how historic it is. And also the approach. It's not the widest bridge, even for somebody in a normal sized car. You know, the standards for bridges were a lot different in the times where that was opened.
Turn right onto Hinton Road.
Alright.
Continue for 10 kilometres.
10 kilometres. Okay, let's go. So I've never driven along this road. So we're heading in towards Raymond Terrace and then Fighterworld. It's approaching 1 o'clock. Fighterworld closes at 4. Probably go in there and get some shots of the historic planes in there. Not sure yet. I might get distracted on the way. Might not even make it to Fighterworld. Who knows? This is certainly a lot different from the way that we came out towards Maitland, and lots of farmland. It's the end of winter. Oh, by the way, if you are looking for farmed type content, which I've been a little bit addicted to actually on YouTube, Laura Farms on YouTube is a good watch. Oh, we got another bridge here, which is looking. Oh, this looks like it's a lift bridge, and it's one lane. I did not see this coming. Oh, this is the Patterson River. Okay, opened in 1901. It's an Allen Timber Trust apparently. So we're crossing the Patterson River. I'm used to seeing the Patterson River in Patterson, but which flows into the Hunter River. But I'm not used to actually going over the Hunter River here. So if we were to turn left, we'd be heading towards Dungog and also Patterson. So 13 kilometres to Raymond Terrace. We're now in Hinton. On one side of my family, that's actually their surname, Hinton. Don't know if they lived in this area. Apparently I do have some relatives or distant relatives in the Musselbrook Singleton area, which isn't that far west. Oh, look at that old Dodge. Which isn't that far from here really. Very country out here. this way all the time coming back from Newcastle, but it is a nice scenic trip from what we've experienced so far. Almost lost the camera again. I'm gonna have to think of a better solution if I'm gonna do this. I had a suction cup that was supposed to go on there and was supposed to stay on there, but didn't even last 10 seconds after I applied pressure to it. So I might have to look into the Insta360 catalogue, because I don't have a lot of mounting bars or anything hanging down that I can mount the camera to in here. Where I've got it is in a good position, but it's relying on magnets and there's a lot of plastic, so I lost a tradie that was behind me. That's a shame. Road subject to flooding. I dare say that there's been a lot of flooding on this road over the last few months. So the Patterson River would overflow in this general area. Horse manure is available for $1.50 a bag, according to that sign back there on the right. There's some horses that have had their rugs taken off. I don't know if horses, or if people would rug their horses every day or just leave the rugs on. My mum owned a horse there many years ago. Lived in our backyard for a while we were in between paddocks. Mum actually wanted to keep the horse in the backyard long term, but horses don't go well in suburban backyards. She had a little Shetland pony called Lucky. Initially was a present from my uncle to his daughter, and his daughter lost interest, and so it became Mum's interest, and in many respects it became my problem. But the last we heard, when we sold the horse, he was trucked to Grafton on the New South Wales North Coast, and I presume saw out his days up there. I don't know, but that was many years ago now. So, like, he was a nice Shetland pony and that sort of stuff. I really wasn't into it. There was a lot of stuff that I had to do to help out Mum that I didn't want to do, but being a kid, you just did it. Now we're in the Port Stephens Council area rather than the Maitland Council area that we were just in. Very typical of these. Alrighty, to the surprise of certainly not me today, because it's one of those days. My camera shut down again because it got too hot. What are we on now? I think we're on 58% battery, something like that. But it only has to get me to the airport, and then I'll change batteries for the full size one. Anywho, we are 2 kilometres away from Raymond Terrace, 28 kilometres from Newcastle. Starting to hear planes and fighter jets, etc. As we're getting close to the airport. There's a lot of property around about here, but having said that, developments would be limited because of the proximity to the airport and the defence establishment, the RAAF Base, Royal Australian Air Force. So we're about to come into Raymond Terrace. which is another major area that's also on the Hunter River. So you might stop into Raymond Terrace to have a break if you're on the way to and from the North Coast or Brisbane. So the Hunter River we're crossing again. So we're back into suburbia.
In 400 metres, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on William Bailey Street.
So I'm not going to do the whole, let's go into the town centre of... Actually, we should while we're here.
In 300 metres, turn left onto Adelaide Street.
So this is a part of
In
Port's...
400 metres, turn left onto Adelaide Street.
So this general area is
Head
known as the
southwest
Port.
on Port Stephens Street.
Can I get a word in, Google?
In 100 metres, at the roundabout, take the 4th exit and stay on Port Stephens Street.
This is generally known as the Port Stephens area. This is Raymond Terrace.
In 200 metres, at the roundabout, take the 2nd exit onto William Bailey Street. Head southwest on Port Stephens Street. In 150 metres, at the roundabout, take the 4th exit and stay on Port Stephens Street.
Oh, in other words, it wants me to do a U-turn. I don't want to do a U-turn because I want to drive down the street.
In 200 metres, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Port Stephens Street. Head southwest
So-
on Port Stephens Street.
Shopping
In
centre on the left.
150 metres, at the roundabout, take the 4th exit and stay on Port Stephens Street.
Another historic town centre.
In 200 metres, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Port Stephens Street.
So another shopping centre to the left.
In 200 metres, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Glenelg Street.
So I have turned the air conditioning on here, which may help with the keeping the camera cool. You can't necessarily do that, obviously, if you're out and about and you're just on foot and you're, say for instance, you're at Maitland Steamfest.
In 100 metres, use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto Adelaide Street. Use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto Adelaide Street.
I'm turning right onto Adelaide Street. Now the service station, petrol station, gas station, call it whatever you want, on the right hand side. I did see one of these near Maitland as well, but it's an interesting one because you pay at the pump, card payments only, and there's no shop that you go into. I have heard the fuel industry say and the service station industry say that the main reason that they're making money isn't because of the cost of the fuel and and all the taxes, etc., that the government takes out. But where they make most of their money is by having someone in the shop and someone there to
Continue
sell
on
you,
Adelaide Street for 1.5 kilometres.
to sell you food and groceries, etc. But there's none of that there. You just pay for your fuel at the pump, use your card. There's no staff, and then off you go. So that's very different. That's very different compared to a lot of the service stations that seem to be only able to survive because of what's purchased inside. So a lot of the petrol stations, if you were to buy things in there compared to going to a supermarket, the prices are a little bit inflated. So that company's called Yugo. Alright, so we're leaving Raymond Terrace now. I actually did do a cruise a couple of years ago into Raymond Terrace on the Hunter River and had lunch at the pub. It was quite nice just to go up the river. I should this summer see if there's a cruise that goes all the way to Morpeth and do that. That'd be rather cool, I think.
In 600 metres, at the roundabout, take the first exit and stay on Adelaide Street. Exit the roundabout onto Adelaide Street.
Then I need to...
In 100 metres,
Where
at the
the left
roundabout,
lane?
take the second exit onto Masonite Road.
Oh, so I go straight through this roundabout. This is the Pacific Highway. Now this section hasn't been bypassed by motorway yet. I'm going to go when the truck goes, because the truck wants to turn right. I can't see a thing because the truck's there. Oh, it's a nice looking truck. Alright, so the truck's going, I'm going. Oh, and the camera's going too, apparently.
Exit the roundabout onto Masonite Road.
Hever Bay Pies on the right.
In 50 metres, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Masonite Road.
It's funny sometimes when the camera...
In 800 metres, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Masonite Road.
Can I get a word in? Very strange. Like, the magnet isn't changing, and I suppose it's a bit imbalanced because of how the camera stands upright. I definitely need a better solution than the magnet. I'll look into that. So this is part of the roadwork that's coming up for the, I believe this is, that's rough. Part of the roadwork for the motorway that we were talking about earlier. So it's a work site through here. So a little bit more construction work of the motorway that we were talking earlier to bypass this area as an alternative to the Pacific Highway. So no doubt in time, where we are now, we'll be on that bridge, and this is the motorway. if it's going to be open in 2026, it'll be late 2026, if not 2027. And now we're in bushland again. Certainly there's a fair bit of bushland around the Newcastle, Port Stephens, Maitland areas, that's for sure. And at no time have I been ever more than, say, 45 minutes away from home. Around this area. Most of the time, if I catch a plane to or from Newcastle Airport, I catch the bus. I rode out here once on my original scooter. That was a tough ride back from the airport into Newcastle. So the sign's just warning us there of wildlife possibly in the area, what they like to run across the road. We've certainly taken the long way, but it's been enjoyable.
In 600 metres, turn left onto Cabbage Tree Road.
Oh, there it went again.
Turn left onto Cabbage Tree Road.
Fun editing this. Alright, we're 7 kilometres away from Williamtown, which is where the airport is.
Continue on Cabbage Tree Road for 7 kilometres.
That would pretty match up with what I just said, Google. Yeah, definitely. If I want to record from the car again, and I do, I'm going to have to come up with a way better solution. A way better solution than this magnet. That's a problem for future, mate. Just see the amount of water that we've had there in the ditches on either side of the road. crane heading towards us. Definitely hear the planes now. I can't see them yet, but I can definitely hear them.
In 500 metres, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Nelson Bay Road, B63.
Now that's a site that needs replacing rather than the one at Oakhampton. Alright, we are getting close to the airport now. Turn left 400 metres. Oh, big gust of wind there. Onto a lap. It's been a while since I've been out here.
In 200 metres, at the roundabout, take the fourth exit and stay on Williamtown Drive.
I'm just going to do a drive-by of the actual airport first. Because Google is telling me that I need to be going in a different direction. It's the first time in a long time I've come to an airport just to see the airport rather than I'm going somewhere.
Head north on Williamtown Drive towards Kindler Way. Continue on Williamtown Drive for 1 kilometre.
So the new terminal and the new international terminal will be opening here sometime in October, I think. And direct flights to Perth start in September. Going to do a loop around here and then we will head to Fighterworld. So this is the new terminal on the right hand side. So they've made a massive improvement to their I was going to say their passenger information, their wayfinding. There's a new car park to the right of us that's got solar panels on the roof. Oh, that's where the pet transit lounge is, okay. If I wanted to go somewhere for a few days and drop Bear off there on the way and pick him up. So this is one of our going? Nope, I'll take that as a no. One of our local buses that you can take to get to the airport. This is the older section of the airport. They would have done inside this terminal up as well. It's not a bad terminal to fly out of. It's not.
In 200 metres, turn left to stay on Williamtown Drive.
Oh, I haven't seen this bit. It's nowhere near as big as Sydney Airport or Brisbane or even Adelaide Airport, for instance, but it's a massive step up for Newcastle.
Head southeast towards Williamtown Drive. Turn right onto Williamtown Drive, then turn left to stay on Williamtown Drive. Turn left to stay on Williamtown Drive. In 400 metres, at the roundabout, take the second exit and stay on Williamtown Drive.
Well, I haven't seen any signs yet for Fighterworld. I've got both the windows down now, so for the extra ambience of the planes. I think from memory, Fighterworld's a bit further up Nelson Bay Road. There's a Mercure Hotel, so if you're staying. So if you just want somewhere close to the airport, you can stay there on the left.
Exit the roundabout onto Williamtown Drive, then turn left onto Nelson Bay Road.
Nelson Bay Road, righty-o.
Turn left onto Nelson Bay Road, B63. In 600 metres, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Madawi Road.
Madawi Road, that was the road I was looking for. Fighterworld open! Oh, it's telling me to go this way because of the roadwork. So for the moment, I can go this way to go to Fighterworld, but that's about it.
Exit the roundabout onto Madawi Road, then turn left.
So this is basically the end of the runway, so there's a few people parked here already. Please do not park between yellow signs. Okay. So if I park where there, oh, there's Fighterworld. Okay, it's on the left hand side. So you can park here, park there.
Turn left, then you will arrive at your destination. You have arrived.
I have arrived, finally. And we are here at Fighterworld. RAAF Williamtown Aviation Heritage Centre. Alright, it's 1:30. We've finally arrived. Time to recharge the battery, change the battery, and let's go to Fighterworld! Woo! Fighterworld! So there was no indication that time why the camera decided to shut down. Normally it says, oh, your battery is overheated, so we've shut down as a precaution. I am severely hoping that all those times where the camera did shut down, that it stopped recording first and then